Okay, I figured it out. It only took 3 tries. Thanks for whoever's been trying to log on. I finally figured it out. And I am going to try and see. Hi, Belinda. Can you help me and let me know? This is I want to say it's my 3rd live. Can you hear me okay? You can see that frizz, that's for sure. Hi. Thank you. Sorry for the Can you guys hear me and gals hear me okay? I couldn't figure out how to flip my camera because I'm that cool. So anyway, I just thought I was just doing my dishes and I thought I'm gonna go live and see what the little community is up to. Thank you. I'm fine. Yay. How's everybody doing? I'm really thoroughly enjoying my new air conditioning. I'll tell you that right now. I'm in Southern California and it's hot, but I can't complain. I have an air conditioning. I have a roof over my head. My belly is full. Life is good. And I have a job that can help me pay for this electricity that's going to be through the roof. So where's everybody from? Can you say it in the comments? I'm getting the hang of this. Hi. I'm getting the hang of this live business. And I couldn't figure out how to flip my camera, which is why I went live and then stopped and then went live and then stopped. And this was my 3rd attempt, so I'll get it right. There is nothing like ice cold water on a hot summer day. Are we officially in summer? I think we are. Montreal, Canada. My mom was I'm first generation United States. My mom was born in England, raised in Montreal. I love it. How do you say good evening in French? I think bonjour is hello, but I don't know how to say good morning and good evening. Yeah, let everybody know where you're hopping on from. I'm in Long Beach, California. We have somebody from Montreal. Bonnie Soiree. Hi, Cricket. Wow, can you imagine? I mean, my eyes are pretty bad. Hi, Kitty. And if my eyes get any worse, I won't be able to read these comments. I got made up today. I was supposed to go into the office, and I thought, well, I'm not going to waste this Glamazon day. I'm going to go live, right? Doesn't it feel like it's should be Friday already because we have a long weekend coming up? It always feels that way to me whenever there's a long weekend coming up. Somebody is asking to go live together. I will politely decline because I'm still getting used to this, but I promise if you ask me again in the future, I would happily join you. But forgive me, I'm learning as I go here. Montreal, Canada. Okay, so anybody else? Let me know where you're logging in from. So here's the vision eventually. Could be a year from now, but the vision is to parlay this whole book deal, this whole book business, this TikTok jam, and turn it into, hi from LA. What part of LA? LA is huge. I'm in LA County, but I'm in the furthest away from the heart of LA as you can get in Long Beach. And it's super, super hot today, and I'm dreading my electric bill, but I don't care. I paid $50 extra. Thank God I could afford it yesterday's bill because I know the next month's bill is going to be really high. So we have Montreal, we have Los Angeles. Anyone else care to say where they're from? Where they're joining from? I'm sorry if that looks unattractive. I feel like it does. I feel like I look like I wish it was more exciting. So what's everybody doing? Am I the only one that feels like it should be Friday because we have a long weekend coming up? And am I the only one that feels like not celebrating because of this damn news? I mean, not really. It's not. I don't feel like we have much freedom right now in this country. Get hard, wanna see. That's lovely. I don't know what you're talking about, Johnny. I can't get hard. Nice, nice. I'm so happy people are hopping on. Yes, very hot. AC is definitely working overtime. It took me 5 years to get it in my living room. I have it only in my bedroom. Add me in to see it. Hello, hello. Okay, so I started this live because, well, for a couple reasons. I'm really excited for this community. I'm excited. I don't know where to look. I'm looking at, where's the camera? Hang on. God, you can tell I'm an old lady. Okay, there's the camera. Super excited that I'm getting more followers because this community is pretty rad. There's a lot. Here's the thing, right? With TikTok, with anything, with social media, with life, you got the good and the bad. And the bad, you kind of just have to, comes with the territory. I always think the good outweighs the bad, though, because people do have really deep, beautiful hearts and souls. And those are the people that I want to meet. Those are the people that I want in my community. And I shouldn't say my community. I should say our community. So forgive me if I jump all over the place. It's my ADD, my pinball machine brain. But what I was trying to say is eventually I want to parlay this whole TikTok business. And then once the book comes out, maybe do a podcast. I know. It's kind of a little much. Doesn't everybody and their mother have a podcast? But I clearly like to talk. So I am ready for you. Gen X is the greatest generation. We rock. Yes, we do. Is it Sarah? Yeah, we do. Absolutely. We do rock. Why do we rock? Well, I don't know if you saw that thing going around from Better Things, Pamela Alden. She had that clip that was making the rounds on social media because her teenage daughter called her boomer. She's like, for the last time, I am not a boomer. I am Gen X. We are analog. We write on paper. We know what it's like to not have the internet. So it's kind of cool because we're not mad, just disappointed. Yeah. You know what I think it's really sad, and I'm guilty of this too, is everyone's just so focused on their phones, right? So these teenagers, I don't think they have a shot if they're so addicted to their phones when they grow up and they're out of school and they're trying to get a job of, what's the word I'm looking for? Interacting with people. It's going to be hard for them. There's a word for it. Disassociation? Something disorder? Who's familiar with Bo Burnham? Anybody? Tap the screen. Yeah, thanks so much, Sarah. Bo Burnham, if you haven't seen him on Netflix, he, and forgive me if you already know about him, and I'm telling you what you already know, but he directed, produced, wrote, filmed an entire Netflix special by himself, self-isolating in his guest house. And it's called Inside. And he makes some very, very, very good points about these kids today, how they're so addicted to their phones. And I have a friend who's a chiropractor, and there's a nickname. She's, by the way, killing it. She's making a great living because of all these kids coming in with tech neck. That's the word for it, because their necks are down like this. They can't look up. Even when I'm in an elevator, nobody makes eye contact anymore. I'm guilty of it myself. And they're cracking down. I don't know where you live, but here in Los Angeles, they are giving tickets out like candy on Halloween for even holding your phone, which I think is a good thing. It's distracted driving. So who wants to ask me a question? Or can I ask you a question? Well, I already asked the question. Let me know where you're popping in from. We've got Montreal, we've got Los Angeles, but eye contact in an elevator sounds terrifying, right? It does. It totally does. I agree. There's a quote from someone, I don't know who said it, but if it weren't for the weather, we would have nothing to talk about. Like, that's small talk, right? And I'm an executive assistant. That's how I pay my bills. So I'm in charge of, my boss is a senior vice president at a company. And so if I need to escort a guest that has a meeting with my boss, I have to meet the guest at the front. And then even if it's just a 5-minute walk, what do I talk about? The weather. How was your flight? What was the weather like? All that stuff. Denver, Colorado. I love Denver, Colorado. Tennessee. Where in Tennessee? My biological dad lived in Selmer for a little while. Cal Riverside, California. Awesome. Very cool. Love it. Is it hot in Denver right now? Nashville, another Tennessee. Nashville. Very cool. So it's nighttime. I mean, it's like 8 o'clock. 5:51, 6. So it's almost 8 o'clock where you guys are. So I'm going to ask again because more people have joined. Doesn't it feel like it should be already tomorrow should be Friday? Because we have a long weekend coming up. It really feels like the weeks coming up to a long weekend feels like they should be shorter. And then always the following week, even though, most of us have Monday off, right? And then when we go back to work on Tuesday, it feels like it's been a long week already. It's weird. I just don't feel like celebrating freedom. I don't feel very free in this country right now. Yeah, right? Long weekend. 88 in Denver, perfect. That is kind of high, but I'm glad you like that. It's ironic growing up in Hawaii, you'd think I'd be down with 88. You think I'd be okay with it? Mm-mm. One of the medications that I take for my depression, I take 2. One in the morning and one in the afternoon. One of the side effects is excessive sweating. It sounds so gross, which I don't have because I don't live in an area where it gets too hot. And if it is too super hot like today, the AC is on. So I run warm. And when I go home to visit my family in Hawaii, it's too hot for me. And I'm not down with that humidity, man. No, I'm not down with humidity at all. I'm just reading your comments. All right, so does anybody have any questions for me? What brought you to my page? What are you most interested about? You know what? I'll answer a question that somebody left. I just read the comment. What did your parents think about you stripping? Well, let's take Dad out of the equation. He left when I was 2 and moved back to Canada to avoid paying child support. So he's a real winner. Had an affair with a Pan Am flight attendant. Gen Xers know what I'm talking about, Pan Am. Remember Pan Am? And then my mom met my stepdad, who has been gone now for almost 10 years. I think he just had his 10-year anniversary of his death, but he was just, he was there, but he wasn't there. They were both big drinkers. I had lied to my mom for a very long time about dancing. And then here's the thing. If anyone has if anyone has children, I don't have any kids myself. Lies are very easy to tell and believable if the person doesn't want to know the truth. So my mom could clearly see I was underweight. I was addicted to cocaine. You could just see it. You could see it on someone's face that's not living a healthy life. So, but I lied to her and I told her I was working the flower circuit in Waikiki. And what that is have you ever been to a restaurant and somebody walks around with a basket of roses and tries to guilt the whoever's taking someone out on a dinner date? Would you like to buy the lady a flower? That's what I told my mom I did. I know. Crazy. She believed it for a long time. I was a dancer for 9 years, and she believed it. So finally, towards the end, I just told her, and she cried. She blamed herself. How did you get started in the life? Oh, I love you too, Fresh Start Now. Thank you. How I got started, I'll give you the Reader's Digest version. That's a Gen X term. No one knows what Reader's Digest is now. I'll give you the Urban Dictionary. How about that? 0 self-esteem because of my skin. 0 self-esteem. I was with one of my girlfriends in Waikiki, and we were sporting our G-strings. I will say this, I know I had a rockin' bod. I didn't appreciate it. I still thought I was fat, but I knew that I had some sort of, like, my figure, it wasn't bad. And my girlfriend was it still is to this day gorgeous. Long blonde hair down to her butt, very beach Barbie looking, like just fit the mold, right? So we got approached, well, she got approached by a dude that's handing out flyers for a wet t-shirt contest. And my girlfriend's name's Angela. You'll learn all about her in the book. And it's a really interesting story how we met. We were actually with the same guy. She lived in LA for a little while, and I was in Waikiki, and I had gone through, high off my ass on cocaine. I went through my boyfriend's briefcase and found a letter from her and a picture, and I ended up calling her, and then I ended up kicking him out. She moved to Hawaii, she moved in, we became best friends. So anyway, I was at the beach with her. She got approached to do a wet t-shirt contest. She was a professional dancer on Soul Train, Solid Gold, Dance Fever. I don't know if you all know those shows. She's only 5 foot tall, rockin' bod. So this is what she says. I'll do it if my girlfriend does it. And she points to me. And I'm just like, 0 self-esteem. Don't look at me. Don't look at my skin. And she nudged me and she said, you're a really good dancer. You should do this. And the guy said, it's $100 if you win. So I thought, all right, well, if she does it, I'll do it. And that's how I started. Guess who won the contest? Angela is a very Gen X name too. It totally is. I was 19 when I met her and she was 24. And here's a cool story. Maybe I should make it a story on TikTok. Oh my God, I'm thinking of like a TikToker. We lost touch for 25 years. She got sober probably a decade before I stopped taking drugs. I still drink alcohol, and I'm not ashamed of that. That's a whole nother Oprah. That's a whole nother story. I don't abuse alcohol the way I used to, but I'm 100% bona fide drug addict, and I own that. But she stopped everything. So she, when you get sober, you change your life. You just make different friends. So I was still in the vortex of the chaos and all of that, and then she had left. And I really wanted to find her because in telling my story, she's such a pivotal person. She's the one that got me started with dancing. Guess where she lives? Anybody want to guess? Angela and I reunited. I found her brother online. It's easier to find a man than a woman if the woman changes her name when she gets married. And thankfully, I knew her by her real name, because the other component to trying to find an old sorority sister from the stage is you got to know their real name. And a lot of us didn't use, a lot of the girls from my past don't even know me as Christine. They know me as Stephanie, which is my middle name. It's also my mom's name. That's a Freudian whatever. People trip out when I say that. So you guys, guess where Angela lives? LA. She lives about 15 minutes from me in Long Beach. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't. I can't even swear on this. I learned you cannot swear on live. I couldn't effing believe it. So we went out to lunch. Had a great time. She is my biggest cheerleader for this book. She's a big part of the book, actually. Where do I live? I'm in Long Beach, California. And if you're not familiar with California, it is about, without traffic, that's funny, without traffic, about a half hour away from downtown Los Angeles. And with traffic, I'm about an hour away from like Los Angeles airport, all that. And then I'm about a half hour north of Orange County, which is your Huntington Beach, your Newport Beach, your Laguna Beach, couple hours north of San Diego, if that helps. I did. I'm so glad I reunited with her too. Because it's so, being 19 years old and thinking, I mean, I'm not the only one, right? You think you know everything at 19, and then you add cocaine on top of that. I was a smart A. I can't swear on here. It's really difficult for me not to swear. Max Small D is the worst, isn't it? Yes, it is, Peter. It is. It's a Scottish thing. And perfect example of the Max Small D is, well, first of all, people think it's McDonald with an MC. And then if you can get them to spell it correctly with an MAC, they immediately do the big D. And why does it bother me so much? I mean, come on. This world's got bigger problems. But if I'm going to a new pharmacy, 9 times out of 10, no, Miss McDonald, your pills aren't ready yet. I say, try looking under MC. Sure enough, there's my pills. Anyone else? Anyone else? Ask me something. Ask me something. So the first question was, how did I get into it? I entered a wet t-shirt contest. Hi, Stella. My dog wants to go out, but she's not going out again. And guess who won the contest? You're looking at her. Even with my AA cups back then, I hadn't put my fun bags in. What was the song I danced to? Bon Jovi, You Give Love. No, it wasn't You Give Love. It was Wanted Dead or Alive. You know the beginning of that Bon Jovi song? It's all the same. It's so dramatic. Only the names have changed. Seems we're wasting away. Yeah. I loved every minute of it. Did VIP champagne rooms exist? They did, but not in any of the clubs that I worked. Thank God, because I heard there's a lot of shady stuff that goes down in there. You lived in Hawaii at the same time as me. Very cool. I bet you, did you ever go to the Wave Waikiki or Pink Cadillac? Because I was there. Did you travel out of the country for dancing or just in Hawaii and California? I also danced in Vegas. I think it's called Solid Gold for one night. Talk about intimidating. My God. For all the times and all the stages I danced on, and by the way, Hawaii is all nude with a full bar, and I think the only place, again, this is way back then, I don't know if it's different now in the United States, but back then that was the only state in the country that allowed full bar with nude girls. And from what I understand, back east, the people would have to drive to Vancouver if they wanted to see some below the equator action. I worked at American Hawaii Cruises. Very cool. Love it, love it. What is the name of the book? It's called Face Value. And then Face Value : I went from my journey from working the pole to bearing my soul. I know, it's cheesy. It's very cheesy. But pole to soul has a ring to it, right? I mean, you can remember it. Anybody else? Anybody else? Talk to me. So the person who said that they were in Waikiki at the same time as me, did you go to the Wave or Pink Cadillac? Those are nightclubs. And those were my home I started I started going to the Pink Cadillac. That was an 18 over club. By the way, how's this for bad luck? The drinking age in Hawaii used to be 18. 6 months before my 18th birthday, they changed it to 21. Oh my God. So pissed. But it didn't stop me. The waves. See, there you go. I was upstairs on those couches, making out with everybody, taking MDMA. That was me. What's my dog's name? Her name is Stella. And she has 3 legs, and she's a rescue. Oh, let's see if we can get her on here. Hi. Oh, I don't know if she's going to be camera shy. See, she's missing her front leg. She's been out in the heat all day. I know. Yeah. She's 12 years old. I got her when she was 3. Pretty sweet. Would I move back to Hawaii? Very good question. Did you ever get married? No. I don't know if you ever saw, if you saw my my post about having trust issues, but I don't know about marriage. I just, I came from, how that people say that there's 50-50 shot of marriages ending in divorce. Well, I'm from the 50% that was ended in divorce, and I grew up in a very toxic household. So my take on marriage, especially because I don't subscribe to any organized religion, and I never wanted children. Not that I don't love children, but I was still raising my inner child. There was no way that I was responsible enough to have children. So for me, marriage was, this is going to sound terrible. Forgive me. Whoever's married, I don't judge you at all. But for me, signing a contract to be connected with somebody in a legal way freaked me the F out. Like, I would feel trapped. I know. It's pull to soul. I didn't do drugs. I'm trying to read. So no, I would never move back to Hawaii is my answer. My mom and my sister still live there. Yeah, Stella's a sweet one. I think I outgrew Hawaii, and to be honest with you, it's magical and beautiful, lovely paradise, but I didn't experience that growing up, and it's not the island's fault. But it's a major trigger for me. And forgive me for saying that catchphrase word. But when I'm on the plane, if you've ever been to Hawaii, you go on the, you're on the plane and you're coming down, you can see the island. I start getting my tightness in my chest, shortness of breath. There's a lot of trauma that happened in Hawaii. So it's very, very difficult for me. If you look at if you want to do a deep, somebody did that. How do you do that? That's so funny. Somebody just gave me a mustache. I don't know what I was talking about. Sorry. Hi, ADD. Nice to meet you. Okay, so somebody answer me this. What is the difference? And I know I can Google it, but this is more fun. What is the difference between ADD and ADHD? Oh, okay. So you're giving me hats now. Appreciate it. ADD is it a child, and then ADHD is adult? I don't know. All I know is I have it. I didn't do drugs, but my daughter's dad. It's a different time. I'm just looking up all of these. One is hyperactive. Thank you. So maybe that's it. H adds hyperactivity. But I have cyclothymia also. So is anybody familiar with that? Cyclothymia? Sort of a watered down version. How do I get swipe left to close? Okay, there we go. Cyclothymia is, I want to say, watered down bipolar, but I'm probably not doing it enough respect. But my mania manifests in talking a lot. You think? Yeah. And especially when I'm nervous. Oh my God, you should see me on a first date. Can't get anybody in. Let anybody get a word in edgewise. And then my depression is very classic textbook. Can't get out of bed, not taking showers, can't even brush my teeth, you know. It's very, very hard. Somebody sent me a rose. Thank you. I love all this. You guys are awesome, and gals. I know I have to get out of saying you guys. It's a horrible habit. Island mentality, Trinidad. I don't know what that means. The island lifestyle is amazing, and it's very, the people from the island, the indigenous people, oh my God, their hearts are just, oh, if you live aloha and you treat them with respect, you respect their land, you respect their traditions, you educate yourself on the Polynesian culture, you try not to change them, you respect them, you honor them, you learn about the monarchy, you learn about the sovereignty. The best group of people I've ever met in my life. It's very take off your shoes, what's mine is yours, you know, help yourself to a beer in the fridge, that kind of a thing. Very, very welcoming. LOL, me too. I don't know what you're saying, me too. All right, so drop some questions on me, people. What do you got? I worked for American Hawaiian Cruises. Did you travel out of the country? I'm trying to see if I can get anybody. Where do I live? I've already answered that. Long Beach, California. Name of the book, answered that. Hold the Soul, memorable, thank you. I have a feeling you know my daughter's father. I might. Were you good at pole tricks? No. And I'll tell you something, there were no classes back in my day. There were no classes. So what we would do, or I can only speak for myself, what I would do, there was a girl, Loretta, who I found, and we're Facebook friends, and she's amazing. I think she's almost 60 now. She was a little older. So I was 21 at FemNu, and that was my first all-nude bar. Loretta kicked ass. I can't swear on lives, so she kicked butt. Really hard for me not to swear, I'm learning. So I would go in early before my shift and watch her, because there were no pole dancing classes back in the day. She not only rocked the pole, she would bring a chair on stage, straddle that thing backwards, play some Sade. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Sade. Am I saying that correctly? Sade, S-A-D-E, if anybody remembers. Is It a Crime? I think that was the song she used to dance to. But she would rock that chair show and rock the pole. And then you go in, usually during the day, in the afternoon, before it gets super crowded, which would be probably around 10, 11 at night, which is funny because I'm asleep by then now. And then you just practice until you fall down and get bruises all over your body and all that. I have a feeling. So yeah, the answer to your question, were you good at pole tricks? Heck no. And I admire the people that are good at that. I really admire the people. In fact, I'm friends with somebody in Hollywood who is an excellent pole dancer. She's more Cirque du Soleil, like acrobatic, just phenomenal. Her name's Candace. I just contacted her last night and I said, I'm going to have a book party in LA and I want you to be the performer. So if anyone's in LA or close to LA in California, Orange County, San Diego, Santa Barbara, Central Coast, and if you're up for it, I'll be having a book party and you'll get to see Candace rocking the pole. Did you ever get married? Answered that already. Would you move back to Hawaii? Answered that already. I am loving this community. Really, I just have to say that. Can't help it, showing you love. You're one of my faves. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. Somebody asked me on Facebook, I know nobody's on Facebook anymore, but I have so many photographs scanned. Where do you think I have all my pictures scanned? Right? I mean, it took me years to scan all those. And who would have thought my obsession with taking pictures back 30 years ago would end up on this thing called the internet that wasn't even invented? But somebody asked me, why am I so public? Number one, I don't have any children. My book is my baby. Number 2, I don't have anything to be ashamed about. And number 3, if you don't hide anything, nobody has anything to hold over you, right? So if I had a deep, dark secret that somebody thought, and by the way, my mother is mortified that I'm writing this book. She's not happy about it. You know, I'm not putting her in the brightest, most pleasant light, but there's a lot of stuff that I left out because I love her and I respect her, and I know that she had a hard time as well. You'll learn all about that in the book, but it's an interesting story. But the reason why I'm so public is because I don't want anybody to hang something over my head, like threaten me. I'll let the word out. I'll tell everyone about this. No, My skeletons are dancing along with me. I can't help it showing you love. ADD is the same as ADHD. Okay, I love your story so much. Thank you. I'll be in Westlake in September. Very cool. Do I remember Brett Zeckes? Was he a surfer? It sounds like a surfer. The last name rings a bell. I don't know. I do not know. Angela is a very Gen X name. Okay, so anybody else? Oh, I've got messages. You guys, I'm trying to figure this out. Forgive me. Saying guys. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It's a really bad habit. You know what really irritates me so much? And I've done a couple of videos, little compilations. Why is everybody saying literally every 5 seconds? I literally went to the store and it was literally really hard to find a parking spot. And then I literally couldn't find what I was looking for. Is this generation's literally like the Gen X generation's like, oh my God. I mean, is that just a California thing? Sounds right. Sounds like a California thing. And then he was like, and then I was all, and then he was all, and then I go, and then he go. I think it's the same thing. But that literally business drives me bananas. I dated somebody that I used to say, you're driving me nuts, you're driving me crazy. And he used to always say, it's a short drive, which cracked me up. All right, I'm going to log off in just a couple minutes. So if anybody has any questions, bring them on. And then I'll save this video on my YouTube channel. You know, if you're bored and you want to revisit. But this is fun. This is really fun. I like connecting with you people. And I'm excited. I'm very, very excited for the future. And I really love, first of all, this community rocks. You're all rad. But my sorority sisters, if anybody's on currently a sex worker or an ex-sex worker, and that could entail a myriad of different jobs, but I just love you, and I just want to say that. I think you're really awesome. It's a very, very difficult choice in society, in normal society, and it's scary to transition out of. Tap the screen. Let's get her likes up. So, anybody else before we part ways? Scent hot and mustache. Brett Zeckes. What? You know, that name's going to drive me nuts now. It sounds like a surfer. It sounds like a surfer. So let me know if I'm right. You can hear Stella's collar clinking. She's wondering what I'm doing. Do you think our animals get frustrated with us when we look at our computers all day, and then as soon as we log off on our computers, we're looking at our phones? And if we're not looking at our phones, we're looking at the TV. I think my dog looks at me like, what is up with these devices you keep looking at? Why aren't you paying attention to me? Sometimes she'll come on my lap and nudge me like, would you just unplug? I try to unplug once a week, and it's usually on Sundays. I had to think about that for a second. I was going to say once an hour, but it's once a week. Not easy to do. Feels very weird to not be plugged in, but it's good for the soul. Good for the soul. Okay, everybody, this has been a blast. And eventually I'm going to get to the point where I'm comfortable enough with this TikTok business to invite somebody on and we could have some dialogue. And it would be really cool to talk to somebody who's still in the sex industry, the sex work industry, or a fellow graduate of the pole who is in, my generation, and we could just talk, we could share stories, because there's a lot of them. But you know what? Everybody's got a book in them. Everybody's got a story. Thank you very much. It was nice being here. I'll see if I can send you our pics from back in the day. I know I'll make a TikTok. Very cool. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm going to sign off for now, but just please keep watching and encouraging, and let's get the community to grow. And I really, really want you all to know that I am not here to just shove the selling of my book in your face. The reason for my book, the purpose for my book, is because number one, I wanted to give purpose to my pain. I grew up with a lot of trauma. I'm an adult child of an alcoholic. I'm a former drug user. And I was in the sex industry. I mean, it just goes with the territory. There's a lot of, and that's not even talking about my skin issues. So I want to share my story with anyone who's struggling with any of those things, because I feel like giving purpose to our pain makes it not worth it. That's not the right wording. It makes it, somebody help me out. Giving purpose to our pain gives it reason. Like it couldn't have all been for nothing. So I'm going to turn it into a positive. The negative parts of my life, I'm going to turn it into a positive. And then the book just is my way of doing it. And if I can reach people, that's awesome. So thank you very much. I love you. Don't know how to turn this thing off, but I'll figure it out. And see you next time. Aloha.